Hey everyone, it's Dominica Scatel. I am so excited to present another edition of Corazon, Alma y Espiritu, Heart, Soul, Spirit. This is our summer speaker series, and I'm excited to present my next guest, Brenda Flores. But before I bring her back up or bring her on the stage, let me tell you a little bit about her so you know who she is. Brenda Flores Robles is a Texas digital and acrylic artist, writer, and a handmade designer that creates accessories for every season. Okay, girls, come on. Who love accessories, love jewelry. Like, I'm so excited to talk to her. She uses her imagination and creativity to create artwork. Her purpose in life is to create and inspire through the arts and educate the community with real life experience. Her background includes working in the hospitality industry in retail and as a waitress. As worked in the education field as an early childhood teacher, obtained an associate's degree in liberal arts from San Antonio College, a bachelor's degree in disciplinary studies from the University of Texas at San Antonio, and a master's degree in learning from the University of Texas A&M Commerce. She also has a podcast, To Serve with Love, to give others a place where they can share how they are serving the community with love. Brenda loves to write. She has 2 books on Amazon Kindle, Set Yourself Free and the ABCs of Hospitality. Connect with her on social media. I am Brenda Flores. Oh my God. So good. I'm so excited to talk to Brenda today. So let's bring her up. Amiga, ¿cómo estás?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me on this platform. I think it's wonderful that you get to talk to so many wonderful people serving the community.
Yes.
And it's wonderful that I'm pretty sure you get inspired so much from different artists, entertainers, people who are helping so many people in this world.
Oh yes, most definitely, girl. And you know, what we have, one of the many things that we have in common is that podcast, and that has opened up so many opportunities to meet so many different people all over the country and also internationally that I never would imagine. So just being able to be in that space with, you know, people doing good in the community, serving their community, it just fills me up, as I'm sure it does to you. So I'm excited to talk about that. But for everyone who's watching or maybe perhaps is listening, amiga, let's have them know a little bit more about you. What do you like to do on your off time?
I love to read.
Okay.
I just love reading books, self-development books, animation books, drawing books. I have a lot of books at home. I have so many books, and it's like you want to read them all, but you just have a certain amount of time.
Right.
So it's like you collect books and collect books and collect books, and I thought I in the library just sitting there. But from what I've learned is, you know what? Just take one book and just finish it. Just like anything you do, whatever project you start on, just follow through and finish it.
Right.
And then you go on and work on other projects, because then you're going to have a lot of just half finished projects, and you're not going to end up getting anything done.
Yeah, no, that's so true. That's a good point. I love to read too. I have about 2 bookshelves full of books, but then I discovered Audible. And so now I have, by having Amazon Prime, I have all these credits. So I'm like, wait a minute, maybe this is better because I'm not like jam packing my shelves with books. So I've been into the Audible lately, so I can completely relate. Brenda, you're also an author. Tell us, like, what inspired you to write a book?
Yes, it was Well, when I was the early childhood teacher, I always wanted to write, but part of me thought that I didn't have a voice, even though I was a teacher, right?
Okay.
So the first book that I created was Learn to Count with Fruitcake.
Okay.
Which was a picture book.
Okay.
So I would draw, and then I did the numbers, and that's how I started to be like, you know what, I want to do this. I want to write. I mean, but for right now, I'm doing picture books, just doing art and picture book.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I wanted to become an author. But it was until later on. I mean, I will write blogs here and there, but until later on when I read about Latina empowerment, right?
Okay.
I went on Amazon Kindle, and it was a book about Latina empowerment, and it was several ladies who wrote about themselves, how they started and how they became successful, and it was a book collaboration, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a book, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Wouldn't it be nice if I get in one or get invited to one?
Right.
And it was just in my mind so much that honestly, I looked at the date, and it was like during like the Black Lives Matter move. It was during that time when it's somebody on Instagram posted support Black businesses, right?
Okay.
So I was like, well, let me support two people, right? Two.
Okay.
So I go on my feed, and then I see two ladies. I contact one, and I say, I'm going to support you, and I'm going to buy her one of her books. And then the other one, I purchased a T-shirt and something else. And
Okay.
then so she messaged me, and she said, thank you very much. And then a few days later, she messaged me asking me if I wanted to be in a book collaboration. And I said, oh my God.
You put it into the universe. It came to you.
And then I looked at the dates, and it was just 2 days later.
Wow.
2 days.
Wow.
Like, oh my God, a manifestation right here.
Right.
But I didn't tell her yes right away.
Okay.
Because part of me felt like I wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? Well, for me, at least. And then I said, you know what? I mean, this universe gave me that opportunity to be in one. Just go ahead and jump in. So that was the biggest, most beautifulest thing that I jumped in. Like, you don't know what opportunities came about after that.
Wow.
It came in like I was being interviewed here and there. Like, they taught me that I had a voice.
Yes.
Right? They taught me that I matter. And then they were giving me classes on finance and all these classes on other things. And I was like, oh my God, I just jumped in. But a lot of people are afraid to jump in because like probably they feel like me, like, oh, they're not good enough or they're not ready. But are you ever ready? Are you ever ready to do what you need to do to get to the point where you need to be, right? So like my message is to just jump in on the things that you want to do, and then you'll learn how to do them after.
Yes.
Know how to do them. And I just think that's the most beautiful thing, because you never know where your opportunities are going to come from if you don't say yes.
Right.
So say yes to everything that, you know what, somebody says, oh, hey, Dominica, you want to go with me? To like a dance club, or go with me to go read a book, or to the bookstore, or go with me somewhere to an opportunity where you're going to listen to speakers. Like, just say yes. And you never know what will result from that.
No, I love it. And some of the best opportunities that I've gotten is by just saying yes and doing it with the fear. Right. And so I love that you're sharing that, because who would have thought, you put it into the universe, oh, it'd be great to have, this book collaboration. It happens. And then look at the domino effect of all these different opportunities that happen. So then I love that you're sharing that, because I feel like that's something that we don't talk a lot about, is about when we do something and then fear that we feel like sometimes we don't do the thing because of it. Or if we do it, just all the magical things that happened after, right?
Yes. And a lot of it was like, okay, well, maybe if I do start it, I'm not going to write well. Or if I do start this podcast, because that was in a time that they were teaching me like, hey, Brenda, you got to do your own things. You got to develop your own things. You got to, you know what I mean? Like, birth new things into the world. It's you, girl. Like, it's you. And you got to get on the ball and present yourself. So that's what I learned a lot about just speaking up, finding my own voice, really.
Yeah.
Because once you find your own voice, you don't want to be anybody else.
Right.
I don't want to be anybody else. I don't want to look like nobody else. I don't want people to like compare me to anybody else.
Yeah.
I just want to be me.
Yes. Speak it, girl. Speak it, preach it.
Like, and
yes.
So once you find your own voice and you're like, and like when I first started with these group of ladies, I just didn't want to mess up when I go live on the podcast. So my first podcast, I was afraid to hit that live button. I was afraid. I said, you know what? They already got me on. I already got them on. I was like, and I don't want to hit the live button.
Right.
And I said, you know what? I just got to go for it. I just got to do it, and then do it scared and do it with all these butterflies in my stomach. And I did it. And there's nothing to it. I'm going to mess up. There's going to be a lot of mistakes I'm going to make.
Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah.
And we're going to be okay. So, there's nothing embarrassing about it. The only thing that's embarrassing is if you don't do nothing about your life. God gave you a life, gave you one life to do so many things in your life. And you're not taking advantage of your days.
Right.
You're not taking advantage of your life. And you're not going for it.
No, that's so true. There was a quote. I am a big fan of collecting quotes. And there was one that stood out to me, and it was right before I did this big presentation. I flew across the country to do it, and it was, "Let life forgive me for the life I didn't live." Mm-hmm. And that was so profound to me that it is ingrained in my DNA, because am I really living life? Meaning, am I just kind of like going through the nuances, through the routine? Do I not have joy in it? Am I laughing? Am I celebrating myself? Am I doing that for others? Or am I really living it to the fullest and showing up truly, authentically, 100% me? Mm-hmm. So Brenda, I know that your topic that you wanted to touch on is being original. Yeah. Right? 'Cause I feel like that goes to what you're saying of just being you.
Yes, you have to be original. Don't copy people's style. At first, when you first start, you might copy their style, you might copy their words. But when you find your voice, eventually you have to go on and find your voice. Don't be them, because God didn't make you the same.
Right.
Be yourself. You got to be yourself. People are going to know if you're not being yourself. It's through your confidence, it's through your body language that they can pick it up.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And speaking about books, there's a really good book on body language. And I think that is a sign where you can tell if you're aligned with that thing that makes you happy, or that is possibly like feeling uncomfortable for you. And I think that body language is a signal of like, well, are you shrugging your shoulders when you're doing it? Are you like elevated and excited and glowing? And to me, like when I'm often asked, like, well, Dominica, how do you know if you're really stepping into that space that you're 100% truly authentic, unapologetically showing up as you? And it's like, you will know. But I think as we go through life and through what happens through that message in society, sometimes we lose track of that, right? We lose track and we lose ourselves. And then, right?
Yes, because social media, I think it plays a lot of it. And, sometimes I do have to get off of social media because sometimes the energy is not aligned with mine. So I step back of social media, but then I go back on to post or create. Because I think social media is very good because it connects you with so many people from all over walks of life, all over the country, all over. Just it's a wonderful platform to talk to someone, to get to know someone, to express yourself as well. But at the same time, you're picking up on a lot of feed, like people's emotions. You pick up on what they're feeling or what they're going through, and then you read a quote or you read something and you're like, oh my God, do I have problems? Like, do I like, no, it's just whatever they're posting, you're receiving it.
You're getting that energy, right?
You're getting that energy and you're like, oh, reject.
Right. Brush it off.
Yes. And so it can be like that. And then also too, you see a lot of women and people post self-image, like nice clothing, bikinis, like people in bikinis looking real nice and stuff. And then some people compare and stuff like that, and they want to be them, but you shouldn't want to be them. They're just posting what they want people to see. They're not posting other things. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that social media is great, and social media, refrain from it just a little bit.
Right.
Just step back and know where to go.
Right. No, that's so true. I think that there's definitely accounts that I've encountered on social media that I've had to unfollow because it's just the energy that place or organization was not in a good place, and it comes out, right? You can tell by the post, by what's written on the captions, or maybe even by the pictures, and it's just like, oh wow, that this turned so different from when I originally was following this, right? So I think that's a good reminder that if that energy is affecting you or you feel it in the moment, like, just mute it or unfollow it. But, because that really is, it matters. It matters. And, but Brenda, I also wanted to ask you about your art. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, a digital art, actually, I picked it up last year and I became good at it.
Yes.
Without taking classes. It's just my mind. It takes me these places in my mind.
I love it.
This one, Lumen, I call it because it's light. So this one I did like in 10 minutes. So I can make something in my mind. I just see images and then it comes all together. It's just
I love it. And you know what? When I started following you, I started like really looking at your artwork, and I'm like, oh my God, this girl's talented. And I love that you're using the space of social media to be able to display that, because I also think that sometimes, we go through life and we just forget to do things that we love and share it with the world. And all of your prints, Mujer, like I love them. They're original. They are very creative, and just even you did both of them behind you, right?
Yes, I did both of them. I just cannot copy other people. I just won't, because it's not nice for people to come and go to my site and then like copy stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just not nice. It's not a nice thing to do. And also, God didn't make you that way. God doesn't want you to be someone else. He just wants you to be you and nobody else. So yeah, so I did that. I started last year with digital, but now I'm just like fast with it. I can do that fast. With painting, it takes me a little longer. I started off with painting. At first, I started off with shapes.
Okay.
That was the easiest thing to do with painting. And then I went on and started painting really nice paintings. But I fell in love with digital. That's my top priority right now, digital. And then I also fell in love with animation.
Okay.
Well, I'm thinking that I want to go to animation school.
Okay, that's exciting.
So because I went 2 weeks ago to a movie theater, it was a 4D.
Okay.
I did under the Ripley's, and believe it or not, there was a movie theater and they showed animation and they had 4D. So it's the chairs that you sit on and they move.
Okay.
They move with what you're watching. So there was this movie, like this Halloween movie, and then it was, you can like, you're just in it. Mm-hmm. You're in the movie while you're watching it. And then like they had this roller coaster that you're just like, ooh, like you're thinking they're going to fall with it too. So I fell in love with it. And then they had like spiders, and it's Halloween, right? They had like the spiders, and they go like in front of you, like it was gonna go and touch you. And then they had this other movie. After that movie, it's like short films. After that movie, they had a snowman, several snowmans going through the hills. Like, you know, when somebody's like skiing like Colorado or whatever. Okay. They had these snowmen, and they had two of them in like little tubes, where they sit down. Okay. And they were sliding through the snow, just like rocking this way, that way. So every time they move that way, we move that way. And every time they bump into like the wall, we bump in there too. Okay. And they had snowballs, and they were like kind of like throwing it at us. Oh my gosh. You can feel it because it was cold, and the chairs, the chairs had like cold air blowing to us. Okay. And the wet, like what do you call it? Stream? Not stream. Right.
Like mist?
Yeah, like mist.
Okay.
Mist to us too. So it was just a beautiful experience. I do recommend everybody going to a theater that has the 4D. You're gonna love it, and that's what made me fall in love more with animation. Okay. Because I said, you know what, I want to do this. Since I'm already painting anyway, and I'm already doing digital. Right. Might as well just step it up. Right. And do the animation. So I was watching also Disney. There's a kind of like a documentary on Disney. And I'm not sure if it was Max or Netflix, but they had one. And it said that Walt Disney didn't start till later on in his 50s making Disneyland. Right. So a lot of times we hold ourselves back based on age, on what we can do. But it's not until later on in life that you know what you want. Mm-hmm. From all those experiences, you have more of a picture of what you want and what you don't want, and also the waiting time that it took you to all these rejections and all these opportunities took you to where you're at. So if it wasn't for all the waiting times, if it wasn't for all the rejections, and when you go apply different places and you're like getting the nose and the nose and the nose, and then you're like, then you feel bummed out, and you're like, and then later on you find out, you know what, I'm so glad they told me no. It's like when you have a boyfriend, right? When you have a boyfriend or you have somebody that you like and they don't like you back, right? And then you're like, man, I don't know, they don't like me, right? And then your friend's like, dude, you just met them. Chill. but I'm just so glad from all the rejection, and I'm so glad from people saying no to me, and I'm so glad that things didn't go my way, because I ended up where I should be.
Right.
And that is through the art, developing the art, and then wanting to go to animation school, and then just keep on going on my journey.
No, I love that. Yeah, I'm a big fan, supporter of the arts. That is my background as well. And I love that you touched on that age should not be a factor, because you're right. We go through, our young adulthood and just kind of fall into whatever we fall in, but isn't until we're older that we really discover that we really discover what we really love and makes us happy. So there's no limit to what we can do at any age or any point of our lives, right? And I love that you're discovering, thinking of going into animation. I know, Mujer, you will do great. I've seen your work. It's amazing. So I'm excited for you. I think that it's great. And we need more females in animation, right? Like, I know that's a gap there.
We're in the arts. We need them in the arts. And we're not going to be like just men doing their thing. It's going to be women and speaking up for ourselves.
Right.
And speaking up for all the other women that don't have the power to speak up yet. But we're gonna get them there. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And I think that the power of using our voice, Brenda, as you mentioned before, like, it is so important to share that message, because I think lots of times we're held back by, the fear, the uncomfortableness, or the vulnerability that it gets us into. And it really, once you hone in on that and being able to speak up, that's a game changer.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's why I created the podcast, because I knew and I know that people need somewhere where they can share their story. And also, I see a lot of people wanting opportunities of being in a podcast. And a lot of people have told me, oh, people have said no. And I said, well, they have said no to me too, but just keep going, because sometimes we ask for opportunities that are not ours.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Are not ours, mm-hmm. and with the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
So you just keep on asking for the opportunities, keep on knocking on doors, keep on asking. Someone's going to say yes.
Right. That's so true.
Going to say yes. To your dream, to your podcast, right. To anything that you want to do in life, someone's going to say yes. They're going to give you an opportunity. It might not be in the bigger scale, but something smaller, but that still counts, because it's practice. You're putting in the work. You're doing what you need to do to get to the next level.
Right. That's so true. There was a clubhouse room that I was in. Right now, Clubhouse is the hottest app. And I met someone on the room, because we were both, I forgot what the topic was, and we both went on the stage, and we connected, and we started talking offline. And she is a big influencer on TikTok, and she's older. And just her message is about using your voice, which, it's important that we talk about it. And the following couple of weeks, she hosted a room where she invited me to come in, and it was about the power of no. And I told her that I had an exercise that I learned early on in my career. And I had a great friend that taught me this, and I'll be so grateful. And it was an exercise of getting 100 no's. And so I was telling this person that I was talking to, and I said, that literally changed my mindset, because if you can go through a challenge of getting 100 no's, from then on, you're going to be okay with the no's. And guess what? And she asked me, Dominica, did you get the 100 no's? And I said, no, because I started getting yeses. And you said it so well, that if you get that no, it's not meant for you. It's not your door. It's not the person you're meant to talk to or interact with. And that's okay. And that's totally okay, because when it is right, when you get that yes, I have, for the lack of a better word, I always say it's magical. It's good, it's powerful, it's impacting, it's inspiring, and that is your door. Yes.
So if they tell you no, laugh it off.
Right.
Say thank you, God, and then you keep moving forward.
Right. Oh, definitely, Brenda. time flies when we were doing this. So we are at 30 minutes. So I know I want to honor your time and then everybody who is here with us. Is there anything that you want to cover as we're wrapping up or that you wanted to share?
Yes. So like I said, I created this podcast to start with love. If anybody wants to be on this podcast, just message me. I'm more than happy to have you on that platform. Okay. And if you want to check in my art and to see if you like any prints or anything made for someone you love, just let me know. And I'm more than happy to make it for you.
Hey, yes, and that is an invite. Everyone who is watching, connect with Brenda and, send her DM. Tell her what you liked about us talking today and definitely connect with her because, I have friends that have told me, I don't know, I couldn't be a podcast guest, Dominica, when I'm trying to invite friends to mine. And it's like, it's a great way to just connect with somebody and have a conversation that is shared with everyone who's listening. And it's a beautiful moment that you get to honor yourself and what you've been through and just kind of share those community stories or anything that you want to share, for a matter of fact, right? And it's also a great way to build up your portfolio. So I just wanted to point that out because I know that there's sometimes creatives or influencers now, don't get that chance to build up their portfolio, and being on a podcast is the perfect way to do it. So definitely everyone who is watching, connect with Brenda. And then the replay, if you want to put a question on the comments, we will make sure that she gets them. Most definitely. And we will have all the links in her bio on the YouTube and Facebook, and we will reblast this out to our newsletter. So if you're connected that way, stay tuned to get all the information. My friend, thank you so much for having this conversation with me. And I'm getting a lot of hearts. And unfortunately, I cannot see my phone right now, but it is going off the hook. So I'll make sure that if we get some questions or comments, I'll make sure that you get them. But one last time, where can everybody connect with you?
At social media, I am Brenda Flores.
Okay, awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here with us, investing your time. Brenda, amiga, hold on. But I just want to say thank you for being here. And everyone, until next time, we will see you. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye.